Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine while descending into a dark basement? You're not alone. Many people have reported eerie encounters with shadow figures lurking in the corners of their homes, particularly in the depths of their basements. These unsettling experiences often leave witnesses questioning their sanity and searching for answers. Shadow figures are typically described as dark, human-like silhouettes that seem to move with a life of their own. They often appear in the periphery of our vision, darting away just as we turn to look. But what makes these encounters even more chilling is the overwhelming sense of dread that accompanies them. Imagine standing in your basement, surrounded by the musty smell of old boxes and forgotten memories, only to catch a glimpse of something darting past you in the shadows. It's enough to make anyone's heart race. In this video, we'll delve into the spine-tingling world of shadow figures, focusing on true stories from those who have faced these mysterious entities in their own basements. We'll explore the psychological and paranormal theories behind these encounters, shedding light on why they seem to thrive in the darkest corners of our homes. So, if you're ready to uncover the secrets of the shadowy figures that haunt our basements, grab a flashlight and join us on this eerie journey. You might just find that the darkness holds more than you ever imagined. Encounter 1. The Whispering Shadows. In a quaint, old house nestled on the outskirts of town, a young woman named Sarah found herself drawn to the basement, a place she had always avoided. The dimly lit space, filled with dusty boxes and forgotten furniture, had an unsettling aura. One rainy evening, curiosity got the better of her, and she decided to explore the depths of her home. Little did she know, she was about to encounter something that would haunt her for years to come. As Sarah descended the creaky wooden stairs, the air grew thick with an inexplicable heaviness. The faint sound of dripping water echoed in the background, but it was soon overshadowed by something far more sinister. She began to hear soft whispers, barely audible yet undeniably present. The voices seemed to swirl around her, speaking in hushed tones that sent shivers down her spine. "Get out," one voice urged, while another seemed to beckon her closer. Panic surged through her as she felt an icy breeze brush against her skin, despite the absence of any open windows. The sensation was both chilling and suffocating, as if unseen hands were urging her to leave. Overwhelmed, Sarah fled the basement, her heart racing and her mind racing with questions. In the days that followed, the whispers lingered in her thoughts, leaving her restless and anxious. She found it difficult to sleep, often waking in the middle of the night, convinced she could still hear those haunting voices calling to her from the shadows. The emotional impact of that encounter would forever change her perception of her home, turning a once cozy space into a realm of fear and uncertainty. Encounter 2. The Dark Figure. In a small, historic town, there stood an old Victorian house that had seen better days. It was here that Mark, a local handyman, often found himself working on various renovations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the yard, Mark decided to tackle the basement, which had long been neglected. Armed with only a flashlight and his trusty toolbox, he descended the narrow staircase, unaware of the chilling encounter that awaited him. As he reached the bottom, the air felt unnaturally cold, sending a shiver down his spine. The basement was cluttered with old furniture and boxes, remnants of a family long gone. Mark began to sift through the items, but an unsettling feeling crept over him, as if he were being watched. He brushed it off, attributing it to the eerie atmosphere of the dimly lit space. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, Mark caught a glimpse of something moving. He turned his flashlight toward the source, and there it was, a dark figure, standing motionless in the shadows. It was tall and indistinct, its edges blurred as if it were made of smoke. The figure seemed to shift slightly, as if aware of his presence, intensifying his terror. Fear gripped him, and his heart raced as confusion washed over him. Was it a trick of the light? A figment of his imagination? He stumbled backward, nearly tripping over a stack of boxes, and bolted up the stairs, leaving the basement, and the dark figure, behind. Mark's instincts kicked in, and he felt an overwhelming urge to flee. The encounter left him shaken, plagued by questions and a lingering sense of dread that would haunt him long after he left the house. Encounter 4. The Unseen Presence. In a quiet neighborhood, a man named David had recently moved into an old, charming house that was in need of repairs. As a writer seeking inspiration, he was drawn to the home's character, but he quickly discovered that its history was far from ordinary. One evening, while working late in his basement office, David began to feel an unsettling sensation creeping over him. The air felt thick, almost electric, as if something was lurking just beyond his line of sight. At first, he dismissed it as fatigue, but the feeling intensified. He could hear the faint sound of rustling, like whispers carried on the wind, yet there was no one else around. As he focused on his writing, a sudden chill swept through the room, causing him to shiver involuntarily. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end, and he felt an inexplicable urge to look over his shoulder, convinced he was not alone. As the days passed, the sensations grew stronger. David began to notice objects shifting slightly, books falling from shelves without explanation, and the feeling of being watched became a constant companion. The psychological effects of the unseen presence weighed heavily on him. He found it difficult to concentrate, his creativity stifled by an overwhelming sense of dread. Sleep eluded him, as he lay awake at night, haunted by the thought of what might be lurking in the shadows of his basement. The fear of the unknown gnawed at him, leaving him questioning his own sanity. David's once inspiring sanctuary had transformed into a source of anxiety, forever marked by the chilling presence that seemed to thrive in the darkness. Encounter 5. The Basement Door. In a secluded part of town, an old farmhouse stood, its weathered exterior hinting at decades of untold stories. Jill, a curious college student renting the property, often found herself drawn to the basement, a place filled with relics of the past. One evening, while organizing her belongings, she stumbled upon a heavy, wooden door that had long been forgotten. It was slightly ajar, revealing only darkness beyond. Intrigued yet apprehensive, Jill felt an inexplicable pull to investigate further. As she approached the door, a cold draft swept through the basement, causing the hairs on her arms to stand on end. The air felt charged, as if the door itself was alive with energy. Jill hesitated, but her curiosity got the better of her. She pushed the door open, and a wave of musty air rushed out, carrying with it a faint whisper that seemed to beckon her inside. Strange occurrences began to unfold around the door. It would creak open on its own, even when securely shut, and shadows flickered just beyond the threshold, teasing her with glimpses of movement. Each time she tried to peer inside, an overwhelming sense of dread washed over her, compelling her to step back. The encounter left a lasting impact on Jill. She became increasingly anxious, unable to shake the feeling that something sinister lurked just beyond the door. Nights were filled with restless sleep, haunted by dreams of the unknown. The basement, once a place of exploration, transformed into a source of fear, forever marked by the mysterious door that seemed to guard secrets best left undisturbed. Jill's experience served as a chilling reminder that some doors are better left closed, and some mysteries are not meant to be uncovered. As we wrap up our exploration of chilling encounters with shadow figures and unseen presences, it's clear that these stories resonate deeply with our innate fears of the unknown. From Jill's unsettling experience with the mysterious basement door to David's haunting sensations of an unseen presence, each tale reveals a common thread: the fear that lurks in the shadows of our homes. We began with Sarah, who felt the chilling whispers of shadow figures in her basement, leaving her with lingering anxiety. Then, Mark encountered a dark figure that sent him racing up the stairs, questioning his own reality. David's struggle with the oppressive atmosphere of his basement office illustrated how fear can stifle creativity and peace. Finally, We concluded with the mysterious basement door that beckoned curiosity but ultimately served as a reminder of the dangers that lie in the unknown. These encounters highlight our universal fears: fear of the dark, fear of the unseen, and fear of what we cannot understand. They remind us that sometimes, the most chilling experiences happen in the places we consider safe. If you've enjoyed these spine-tingling stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. We'd love to hear your own experiences with shadow figures or any eerie encounters you've had. Share your stories in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation about the mysteries that dwell in the shadows. Thanks for joining us on this eerie journey.